Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just another little bit of technical difficulty today. Um, I'm going to have to be looking at you. Wait, hold on. I'm going to have to be looking at you. Wait, hold on. I'm going to have to be looking at you. Wait, hold on. A lot of echoes there. Okay, so I actually don't know how this is going to work because if I pause well, no, I can mute it. That's right. Never mind. There always seems to be some kind of issue, but I set up this live on my cell phone today because I was resting and I was tired, and I go, I've got a great picture of the tomatoes that I harvested this morning. I'll just throw that on as the thumbnail. And I set it all up and I took a nap. And I woke up and then it's not listed on either of my computers. So I mean, it's listed in my back end. If you're a creator, you know what that means. It's listed back there and I can edit it, which I did, but it's not playing for me. It's the replay. It's the same thing you're seeing, so it's not live. This is live. It's not. In other words, this computer is not recording. So you're seeing me from my cell phone and I'm looking at your comments on my computer. So that's how I had to do it. And I see that Eric is here. Yes. Eric is commenting on, and this is, I'm glad, and Jack said he will be just a little bit late. He will be checking in. I don't know where Happy is. Martin is here in Turkey. Fantastic. I have something from Turkey. It was a gift. I'm not gonna, it's private, but yeah, it's really, it's a powerful gift. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Eric has a good point, and I should be averaging at least 6,000 views per video, and that's not happening. And I'm trying as hard as I can. So I don't know what else I can do besides just put ridiculous clickbait titles on, but then people don't stick around and watch for a long time. And guess what? I've done other videos with Daryl, and they didn't do anything out of the ordinary. And so, you know, a channel should average 10% of your subscribers for every video. After just a few days, you know, like 2 or 3 days, you should have 10% of the number of subscribers on a particular video. And so, and you're always not making videos for your regular fans. Obviously, you're making videos for the larger world if you want to grow. And I do. So any sharing that you can do would be greatly appreciated. Now, I think in terms of the success with Daryl's garden video, garden tours in general do well, and it was, I think, an attractive thumbnail. He was wearing a bright colored shirt. He's a unique looking man, and it was a great title. And it's all true. There's nothing clickbait about it. He did all of that, from the rock walls to the excavation of the pond. He had a skid steer. He did it all by himself. In fact, he said that he doesn't really like people to come in and do things in the garden because they don't necessarily know what he wants. And so it would be great to have a video breakout like that every week. It would be fantastic. But I would be really happy also with 6,000 to 10,000 views per video. So if you guys can help me grow and reach more people, you know, I'll be in your debt. So thank you. So that's all I can say about that. Hey, Maddie in Iceland, Jamela in Trinidad, Turkey. We got 3 right there together. We've got 3 countries outside of the U.S. Emmanuel, Bobby Lou is here from Thank you. She must have, yes, we communicated this morning because I I went out and I got a little overheated. Where did I put that? Did I post that somewhere? I can't even remember. Oh yes, it was a response to your comment. That's right. I didn't actually post that. I went out for 2 hours, I think. I wasn't planning. I was going to just go out and water a couple of things and round up whatever needed to be harvested. That was it. And 2 hours later, I'm just getting through the first terrace. I didn't even go down to the second terrace. I was already dehydrated, and I knew that I could not afford to push it. And so I just came in, and before I came in, I took the hose, I sprayed the rainwater all over the back of my neck, because I really appreciate, by the way, all the people that have shared their experiences with heat exhaustion. Wow, I am appropriately impressed with how fragile the body is after some of your stories, and really appreciate it. And I'm going to be very careful. That's why I came in today, because Justin was leaving and he was saying goodbye, and I was feeling a little, whew, really. And I thought, okay, that second terrace is going to have to wait till tomorrow. I mean, what's a few more rotten tomatoes? I have, I have, I must have discovered a half a dozen rotten tomatoes this morning. They were kind of hiding here and there, or already dropped on the ground. And you're not going to get them all. I mean, I'm not going to even beat myself up about it. I'm going to do the best I can, and that's what I can do. And so I came in and drank, and someone else recommended that I drink fresh lemon in some water with a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, which I know I have somewhere, but I was reaching quickly when I came in, and I got the real salt, Redmond's real salt, a little bit of that, and I happened to have a fresh lemon. Squeezed that. I drank, I don't know, 10 to 12 ounces of that, and I just instantly felt better. And then I went and had a shower because I was just drenched. It's so humid, and this week promises to be much more of the same. Okay, so that's that. Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Bobby Lou. My mother's name is Bobby. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know where he is, Daryl. Wow, Martin, that's awesome. I can't tell from your. You have an English or an American name, so I don't know if you or if you're stationed in Turkey. Do we have forces in Turkey? Are you in the services, or why are you in Turkey? Do you have a garden there? I'm assuming you were in Iraq because you were stationed there. Anyway, share if you'd like. Claudia is here in Indiana. Thank you. I thought about taking it down, and I thought, no, it doesn't look bad. I'll just leave it up. And looks sort of regal, even though it's regal in a messy way, So, yeah, I got it. It's so long now. I'm not washing it. I used to wash my hair much more frequently, and it's just so long and such an ordeal. So I just, today I twisted it up. I was wearing it like this a lot back in the winter, and I thought, well, I'll just do it. I'll do it that way today. And thank you. I appreciate that. Gemma is here and thank you, Bobby Lou. Did you say where you are, Bobby Lou? I missed that. Let's see. Martin G is here. Don't worry, I won't. We have 2 Martins on the chat today. That's fantastic. Robin is here from Mississippi, and also I hope, let's see, Regina McGrath tunes in. She's also in Mississippi. Of course, I know it's a big state, but it's nice to connect with people in your state. you know, from state to state, you all share various rules and regulations. So it's good to connect with people. No, Daryl, it isn't. It was because of just exactly what I said. That video is successful because it has a great title. It's a great thumbnail. You look like you're, I mean, in my opinion, you look like you're giving thanks. And I know that you're gesturing towards your pond, which we were down below and the pond was up there, and you were talking about the pond and how the ground ivy has that used to be just dirt and fill, you know, on the side of that pond. And I mean, Daryl carved that pond out of just nothing. I mean, he created that pond from scratch. It's pretty amazing. And so you know, you deserve a lot of credit for everything you've done there. It's an amazing place. And please say hello to your mom. Hope to see you in the morning. Let's see. Lori A is here from Oman. My goodness. Oman, Turkey, Trinidad, Iceland. Well, Patricia is just awesome. She's our only moderator today, and we want to give thanks to Patricia for moderating, keeping our chat clean. Usually don't have much of a problem with our chats on this on my live streams. But once in a while you get a troll or you get somebody who wants to say something vulgar. Remember that word? Nobody says that anymore, vulgar. I think you're showing your age when you use the word vulgar. There's so much that's vulgar today. It's like you have to point something out, you have to take the opposite thing and go, ooh, that's not vulgar. Because all of that is vulgar. No, okay. Back on track here. Yes, we do need thumbs up. How many? Gosh, I've paused this so I can't even see. Maybe it's on there. Oh, we have only 26 of these. I would ask that all of you just, especially if you're on mobile, it's very easy. Just click off the live chat. The thumb is right underneath that screen. Click it and then click the live chat right beside it and come right back on. And that number will just fly up. I promise. Okay, so I want to give, as usual, I want to give shout outs and get rid. That's not a good way to put it. I want to go through all of my stuff, and then we'll talk about tomatoes and things that you guys want to talk about. I just wanted to point out that I decided to just take the plunge and join Abundance Plus. Now, I have joined as a member. As you know, we've been talking about this. This is well, you know what Abundance Plus is. It's the membership platform it's like Netflix for farmers. And there are 2 membership levels, and I bought the higher one for a year. And so maybe that will get his attention. Hopefully. And people have recommended me. And why wouldn't he want to feature people that are already supporting him? That's my thinking. So I haven't done much more than that, although send him a comment or 2. And so we'll see if anything comes of that. But in the meantime, I'll get to enjoy all kinds of wonderful farm and garden content. And as you know, Wendell Berry, I think it was Wendell Berry. If you don't know who Wendell Berry is, he let's see, is he still alive? No, I don't think so. Somebody can check that for me real quick. I want to say he was from Kentucky. Farmer, writer. He wrote books. He wrote poetry. And he was a great thinker about, he was like an agriculture philosopher almost. He just had profound things to say about farming and gardening and growing your own food. And he said, I believe this is one of his quotes, he said that it's the gardening, growing your own food is like the education of a lifetime. Because look, you know, I knew a lot of things. I started from scratch in California 9 years ago, and was it 2012? Yeah. And I learned a lot in those 8 years. I didn't know anything. I didn't know, maybe this will make the beginners out there feel more comfortable, but I did not really know the definition between a perennial and an annual. What does that mean? I actually looked that up when I first started gardening. I didn't know anything. I mean, I knew what I liked, and I got a little tiny bit of direction from an old-time biodynamic farmer who made his own compost, or made compost for a company out there. And they called it black gold. I think he told me that he or the woman that whose farm he produced the compost on, because you have to have horses. The horses have to eat alfalfa. You have to use the horse manure, and of course it has to be screened, and then it has to have the biodynamic preparations. I don't know if Sharon Carson is on watching tonight, but she does follow my channel, and she does the what did I just say? Biodynamic preparations, which I've never understood. I would love to do a deep dive into biodynamic agriculture. My son went to the Waldorf School, which was one of the many incredible things that Rudolf Steiner created, and he was also the founder of biodynamic agriculture. So anyway, did I finish what I was saying? I think so. So I joined Abundance Plus, and I hope to see great content on there. And I want to give a shout out. I'm going to read off my list here. Let me see if I've gotten that. Yeah, lemon water with a tiny little bit of good salt in it. Gatorade, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, Gatorade, but this is the truth. A dentist told me, you know, because I had 2 sons in tennis, and at all the major tournaments, Gatorade would be provided. And so they all got used to drinking Gatorade. And of course, you know, in school events, that's just, I don't know. I guess Gatorade just says, hey, we're going to give this stuff to you so we see our name on everything. I don't know how it works, but all I know is the dentist said they have seen all these kids that are athletes, their teeth, it's eating through the enamel on the teeth. And so I was just a warrior when my son Walker, who you've seen, who went into regenerative agriculture, graduated from Stanford, 2 degrees, yay! Anyway, I was a warrior until he got older, you know, and I would prepare his drinks from fresh lemon and raw honey and all of that, so that he wouldn't be getting that, first of all, that orange dye, you know, because food color is not so good. Anyway, I don't want to be putting down any kind of products, but I'm just telling you, it's better to make your own. Okay, so what else did I miss? Wow. But are they Meyer lemon, Daryl? Daryl says you can get organic lemons at Kroger's. I need to get over to Kroger's. Good evening, Jennifer from Central Georgia. And T-Dew jumped. Where'd you go? Teresa, San Antonio. Yes, gonna get to that, Eric. Just want to get through the homework here. Good evening, Country Homestead Preacher. Connie's here. Jamie is here from Illinois. Are you new, Jamie? By the way, I just want to, where are you? I'm looking at 2 things, two screens. If you're new to my channel because you saw Daryl's garden video, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. Click that bell for notifications because you won't necessarily get a notification just because you're subscribed. YouTube decides, you know, they make these decisions. Like in the very beginning of Daryl's big rise up, you know, YouTube saw that people were watching that video and they decided to recommend it. So during that real steep climb up, they were recommending it on the side. And after, you know, maybe about 5 days, then that slope, that settled down, and then the majority of people were browsing to find it. So I can see where these views are coming from. At any rate, let's see. Oh, that's right. We did talk about that, Martin. I remember now. Thank you. Ed is here from Arizona. Dolores, good. I'm glad to hear from you again. How's your husband? How's your husband? I'm looking at the wrong screen. Jack is here. Good, good, good. Oh, no. Oh, Haffy's here. Okay. Pepper jelly. Remember when I made my orange Thai jelly? Oh, that was so hot and so good. There's nothing like orange Thai. And I'm just not hopeful at all that I'm going to get any. Branken Flowery is here. And I think you're the one that's growing a garden now, but you're moving into flowers. Do I have that right? Hello, Faisal Alonzi. Where are you writing from? Monica is here from Camarillo. Tracy is here. North Carolina Coast fan. We kind of know where you're from just from your name. What is your actual name? Remind me. Oh my gosh, thank you for looking that up, Connie. It says Connie thinks that Wendell Berry is still alive at 87. I would love to know what he thinks about how our world is. What our world is now. Oh my goodness. Martin, now don't get sassy there. Okay, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. I rested this afternoon. A lot of people have been telling me I need to rest, and so I did. I could have gotten more work done today, but I decided to rest. Hey, Gretchen, JC is here. Yes, I thought I had that right. You know, I read his books and stuff, but it's been a while. JC, I take it you're from Kentucky. That's amazing. I mean, how many beans can you eat? You know, Kentucky has, Sherry says Kentucky has more diversity in beans than anywhere. Oh, Janie, you're going to learn. Where are you located? Did you already tell me? Did you say Illinois? I think you said Illinois. Janie, have you recently joined my channel? Because I did some videos from Illinois last year. So you'll have to check those out. Last August, I think. If you just scroll back and scroll back, you'll see. Let's see. Right, Cherie, I agree. Margaret Cooper is here, Northern Illinois. Yeah, that's, I think 3 or 4 of you are here from Illinois. Alabama Gardner's here from Mobile, yay. Kevin is here from Big Wave Flop. Oh my gosh, Martin, 1:17 a.m. Oh my goodness, I wish it would rain here. Well, Edwin, I think, you know, I was just thinking about blossom end rot today, and we are talking about tomato issues more later, but I think I've had about everything except that. And I think the reason I haven't had blossom end rot is because I haven't watered very much. I might have had more tomatoes. Some of the plants might have done better if I'd watered more. I don't know. But I was wondering if maybe because you have 200 plants, you very likely have them all on irrigation. Maybe your garden manager is just running the water too much. I mean, I know it's Arizona and I know it's hot, but Tomatoes do not like frequent watering. Deep but infrequent. You're welcome, Janie. Oh my gosh! Does anybody have Cherie just suggested I get an interview with Wendell Berry. Oh my gosh. Does anybody know him? Could anybody help me make that happen? That would be so exciting. I would just be over the moon to meet him. Okay, I'm making a note. I'm going to affirm that. Maybe I'll put it out in the atmosphere. You know, because everybody's had an interview with Joel Salatin. I met Joel. He said I could come up and do an interview with him, but everybody's got a video with Joel Salatin. He's everywhere. And so, you know, I heard him speak at the Acres Conference in Louisville 2 years ago. And I sat on the front row. Was it Joel? Yeah. Yeah, it was Joel. And we got a picture and everything. And I stalked him. I didn't stalk him, but I just got to his speech like an hour early and sat on the front row. So I'd make sure and meet him. And I mean, I mainly went to Louisville for that reason. And then I asked him if I could come there and interview him. And he said, yeah, sure, come. And I'm going, but you know, now I see that everyone has an interview with him. So what could I possibly bring to the conversation that would be new and different? I don't know. Okay, so I just want to move along very quickly. I want to give a big shout out to my nephew, Nathan, who he is a hobbyist beekeeper, very serious about it. He's done a lot of homework. And I went down and did my first Friday, what do you call it? There's a word that starts with F that goes with Friday that is not coming to my poor brain. I did a field trip. I did a field trip down to my nephews on, let's see, yesterday. And we did a hive inspection tour, which is something that he needed to do. And he said, why don't we do a collaboration? He's got a new company that he started about, I think he said a year or two ago. And he produced a certain number of pounds of honey last year. And I think he tripled that this year. And he added hives. He has the good fortune to have a lot of land in their family, in my sister-in-law's husband's family. And so he can kind of pick and choose over the, you know, about 200 acres where to put the beehives. So very lucky that way. So in addition, you know, he is not just walking around with a cell phone. Oh no, he jumped in. He's got all the cameras, all the equipment. He's smart. He's learned how to edit better than me. He started a channel at the beginning of the year and he's already got almost 7,000 subscribers. And so I want to give it up to him. And I also picked up my honey while I was there. So it's Duck River Honey Company, and their family property is alongside the Duck River. Duck River is a very, very special river. Do a little research on it if you haven't before, if you're interested. It has one of the most diverse numbers of freshwater mussels in the country. And well, the biodiversity of that river is off the charts, and it's one of the top scenic rivers. And if you'll notice, at the end of, well, I never did the LLC thing. I just thought, well, let's see how this thing goes. But I called my company Duck River Productions, and under that umbrella, I did Late Bloomer, my show, which started out as a show. The first 5 years are listed on IMDb, which is International Movie Database, which covers all television shows and some internet shows and movies, of course. And so when I started a more vlog style I didn't put all of, and dropped my crew. See, one big advantage to listing that was I had an editor and a sound editor, and they were working for me regularly, so I wanted to be sure and have their credits listed on there because they can get work from those credits. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to Gabrielle, who makes my mugs, these late bloomer mugs. And by the way, I think there are 3 more late bloomer. Now, we're out of the gardener, and there are 3 more late bloomer homestead mugs. If anybody wants one, you need to send me a check, which is a donation to my channel, which I wind up with about $5, because 10 of that goes to shipping, and the rest goes to materials and Gabrielle's labor to make them. They're made custom, one at a time. At any rate, I just want to give a shout out to her. Now, she did not do this to me for free. I ordered these and paid for them, but aren't they gorgeous? I told her if I do any more cooking videos, I want a few more bowls so that I can have something unique and pretty to show my ingredients in. And she said she made these before. I had a whole series of this sort of aqua and kind of cocoa colored things, but I didn't have a bowl this size. And if you're interested in having her make something custom, she can. And just check her out on Instagram. I think it's Gab K Pottery, Gabk Pottery. Her name is Gabrielle Koza. So I just want to give her a big shout out because she made, you'll be seeing these if I decide to do any more cooking videos. Not sure, you have to let me know if you want to see that. But you know, you very often need, you know, a teaspoon of this and 2 teaspoons of that and a half a cup of that, or 1 egg and, you know, a half a cup of sugar. And so she made me all these little bowls. So I love that. Okay, so t-shirt sales, I want to give a big shout out to Kathleen S. and Judy A. and Cherie for buying late bloomer t-shirts. Cherie as well bought a mug, and she became a monthly patron. So thank you, Cherie. Many, many thanks. I wanted to mention that I finally stopped at the farmer's market because Patricia had said, a few people told me that they wanted to see me do some pressure canning after Daryl's video. Now, not a lot of people have seen his pressure canning video. If you've never pressure canned and you want to learn, watch that video with Daryl. I have actually made Daryl's own playlist on my channel because Daryl does not have a channel. He does not even have a smartphone, okay? Daryl is busy. He's taking care of his mother. He's running that whole property himself. And he enjoys the interaction on my channel. And so we did the how to pressure can beans. Not a lot of people saw that. It's a great video, very informative. And I'm going to be reviewing that when it's time for me to do that. So I don't know. I haven't harvested the first bean yet because I started late. But Patricia had said, why don't you go to a farm stand and tell them that you'd like to get a box or a bushel of beans and just go ahead and can them, and then you'll have beans. You know, everybody's getting prepared for possible food shortages. I want to be prepared. And so I stopped in there yesterday, found out what the deal is. The husband drives round trip to the Amish in Kentucky every day to bring back fresh produce. They're also going to have dried goods. They're going to have handmade aprons and all kinds of things. Those kinds of things they'll be selling in the winter when the produce is done. But I told him to bring me a box of beans on Monday or Tuesday. He's going to let me know. And I'm going to pressure can beans. And if anybody's interested in seeing that, please let me know in a comment. It would be great if you could leave me a comment under the video. So I'll be sure and see that. I get a notification for every comment under the video. Okay, so I'm very close to being done here. Canning, cooking. I do have a big plan. I can push that to the end. Yeah. Okay, all that. That's all of that. And I'm going to pull up this basket. It's really heavy. Now, I don't know how I can do this because you can't see me and it at the same time. I'm going to hold it up like that for starters. This is the basket I photographed this morning. I think I put 1 tomato in here since I shot that picture because I did not harvest a Aunt Ruby's German green. This is my favorite green tomato. And this is what's happening to every single large tomato. And every time I get one, it's already got a big split in it, and I'm just dealing with that. So, and this one has a little bit of, stuff in there. I haven't thrown it out. I can eat probably half of this tomato, and I will because they're very mild and delicious. That's Aunt Ruby's German green. That's one of my varieties that I plant every year because I love it. I first heard about that from Luis, my friend in Long Beach. I did a whole playlist with Luis. I went down to Long Beach several times to do videos down there. There's a big gardening community down there. They're very tight, and just like they are in Phoenix. And I went down there, and he introduced me to these tomatoes. And if you've never grown, and let's see, who was just telling me that she's totally new from Illinois. I got cat facing. Let's see. How long cat facing? Yeah, cat facing is that's probably what it is because it doesn't rain at all, and then we have a heavy rain, and the tomato the veins, they don't have veins, but they the fluids rush in, and the skin doesn't stretch like overnight, and it cracks. And so you can walk along, if you've got a lot of plants, you might walk along and see that and think, ooh, that one's if it didn't have a crack on it, I'd give it another day on the vine because this is still hard, but I'm getting that on all my tomatoes. In fact, I have another one in here that has a big crack on it. This has been the most elusive tomato variety, and I think I've only had one small taste of this tomato because, like, if you're a beginner and you're not familiar with how tomatoes ripen and the varieties, because some tomatoes ripen yellow, obviously it's usually in the name, like Aunt Ruby's German green, and Yoder's is, I believe, an Amish tomato that it makes a very large yellow tomato. It's ripe when it's yellow. So, you could miss these things always thinking, oh, that's not ready, it's not red. Well, they don't all ripen when they're red. So I had never grown White Beauty. White Beauty is a big tomato, and it's really producing down there, but I'm missing it. I'm just missing it because it bruises very easily, and it looks like this. So that's typical of the bruise. Got another bruise on that side. But, this could actually sit around for a day and be even better. But, once you get a bruise like that, that bruise just works its way inside, and you wind up, if you cut into that, you wind up losing half the tomato. So this is the frustrating thing for me about big tomatoes is keeping them beautiful until they're big. This, perfect example. This is Gary Osenna. Now I had this happen on all of the tomatoes. Gary Osenna ripens when this is kind of green and this is like a dark reddish color. This is similar to like a Cherokee purple tomato with this deep red flesh, very juicy, great texture. But look what's happening. And you see that one is really a deep crack. So I might get 2 bites out of that. So it's been really frustrating. I've got one plant out there. I've got to identify this. I don't know what it is. I think it's just bad seed. And I don't know if it's something that I grew like year after year and it turned into this, or if it's something. I'm going to have to go back and refresh my memory on on the varieties that I actually planted, because I don't know what this is. But it's kind of a washed out, bland, not a great tomato at all. I will not be growing it again. These are wonderful red cherry tomatoes. The original seeds came from Seeds of Change. I've been growing them for years, and they're gorgeous and very, very tasty. I could do a taste test today, but then, I'll just be dripping juices all over me. I just wanted to point this out. You might have seen this. This is my first chocolate pepper, and it is pretty perfect. It's got a few little scratches here, but it looks pretty perfect. And I'm assuming that it's kind of brown, and I think that this is ready. This is a sweet pepper. And I can't even tell you how long it's been it's been 2 or 3 years since I've managed to grow a sweet pepper, because, in California, I just had more luck with smaller peppers that ripen faster. And this is my first Jimmy Nardello. And Jimmy Nardello, I believe this is Jimmy Nardello. I'm not positive. But it's kind of too far gone on the end, I missed it. I could only see this until I got closer, and then let's just see if this is a sweet pepper. It smells like that could be hot. Jimmy Nardello's not hot. No. It's just not a good pepper. I'm not hot, but it's not a good pepper. Excuse me. Okay. Enough of the taste test thing. See, got a crack on this one too. But these are delicious. Now, I don't know if they have changed and they've cross-pollinated, but I believe this was supposed to be a blueberry cherry. It's either supposed to be a blueberry cherry, maybe it's a cross between the indigo rose, which is more this size, and the blueberry cherry, because it's marked blueberry cherry, but that is not the way a blueberry cherry looks. Blueberry cherry is about this size, and it's like dark navy blue on the top and then pinkish red on the bottom, similar to the indigo rose. So I have a feeling that I need to start with fresh seeds, because I have been, growing these seeds year after year. I think that this is Borghese. Somebody gave me the seeds. It has a little point on the bottom. I thought these were going to be bigger. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that these are Borghese. They don't have a lot of problems, but it's kind of a tough tomato. It's not just pop with flavor in your mouth like that. This is another Gario Senna. All these just had a lot of cracking around the top, getting going. But fortunately, I got this one before the bottom cracked. And so 2/3 of this tomato will be eaten tomorrow morning with my breakfast. I love tomatoes with my eggs. Love, love, love. I eat like 6 tomatoes every morning. This is, I get this mixed up with Trifele. Is that how you spell it? But I'm pretty sure it's black vernissage. But it winds up looking a whole lot like the Wild Boar Farms tomatoes. That he came up with these amazing kind of goldish, greenish stripes on red. I don't know if you can see that. But like the Berkeley tie-dye, and there's 3 or 4, maybe more now. I mean, they're getting new varieties all the time. The Wild Boar Farms was available through themselves, and also through their own website, I think, and also, of course, through Baker Creek. That's where I learned about them at the National Heirloom Expo. that Berkeley tie-dye, you just really can't beat that tomato for beauty and flavor. Wow, it is just awesome. Okay, so I also have the yellow pear is doing well, getting a lot of these little yellow pear tomatoes. They just come right off in your hand when you start to pick them. When they're that brightest yellow, they're ready. But they're, it's not as, it's got a tough skin too, so it's not delicious to bite into. I think I've covered, let's see, I'm not sure what this is. I think this is probably 2 or 3 indigo rose, or it could be blueberry cherry. It's one of these that, if you've never seen that, this is just like 2 to 3, or I guess it's like maybe 3 smaller tomatoes that formed together. It's sort of like cat facing. Well, it is kind of cat facing. I mean, it is cat facing, because what happens with cat facing, if you don't know, is the little petals of the bloom kind of stick to the fruit as it's emerging and growing, and it deforms the plant. It's still good to eat. It's got a little bit of a slit right there, but these are actually quite good and very juicy. So I have had so many tomatoes that look like this. All kinds of cracks around the top. And it's been pretty disappointing, actually. Okay, so I am growing 1 zucchini, and it's well, I take that back. I planted the seeds. I think there were 3 or 4 plants that came up, and it's a container. I think it's called Asti from Renee's Garden. I think I've got that right. Jack Davis sent me the seeds, or gave me the seeds in person. And she thought it might be a great way for me to grow zucchini and cucumber this year. And so this, I don't know if it's supposed to look like this, but I went ahead and took this off. This is the first cucumber that I have produced this year. And this is the first zucchini. Obviously, I had a bit of a watering issue there. That's why this is skinny and this is bulging here. But these are the firsts right here. These are the first of hopefully many: chocolate pepper and cucumber and zucchini. So I think that's all of my stuff. I mean, my biggest thing is, you see how this develops, and it's got these big creases in here, and you just don't know if bugs have crawled in there or whatever. But like, this is the white beauty, which ripens when it's literally just off-white. And I wouldn't even take this off, except, it's already got problems. I don't know if it's going to be any good. So I tried. Here's another one. Same problem with the cracking of the skin. But I'm going to set this down, and if anyone has left a great question, can either Patricia or Haffy put it in front of my eyes again, because I have a tendency to go back and try to look through all the comments, and then I get so behind. We are at 5:44. We've got about 16 minutes left. I try to keep this to an hour. We have 129, and only 68 of these. If you could just hop off of the live chat just for a moment if you're on mobile and click that thumbs up, and then click back on the live chat. That would really be awesome, and I would really appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithms. I'm sure you've heard every single YouTuber saying the same thing, and it does. So please help that number to grow up, because they're going, well, 129 people are watching, but only 69 are liking it. So you got to go, well, why are they watching it if they don't like it? Must be something wrong. So anyway, please help that thumbs up number to grow. And if you are brand new to my channel, welcome. If you found me through Daryl's video, welcome. There's been about, I think, 1,600 new subscribers just from that video. So I'm very, very glad that you found my channel. My channel is not exclusively Daryl. He's just a friend of mine, and he's a great gardener. So he's got we've got a couple of other things planned coming up. That he has a great method for stacking firewood, and he is going to come over here because I was going to build, and I mentioned this last time, you know, building a woodshed. I completely scrapped that idea. He called me and he said, "Kay, you don't need a woodshed." And I'm going, "I don't need a woodshed?" He goes, "No, you don't need a woodshed." I'm going, "Great!" Great, because there's this other big project that I really need to do, and I don't want to take the time and spend the money if I don't really need a woodshed. I didn't want to, you know, go into a woodshed and have a snake come out at me anyway. It's a great, they love to be around in a place like that, so I don't want that. So he's going to come over and demonstrate, and we're going to do a little video about how he stacks firewood. And by the way, guys, just if you know, if you're going to be relying on wood heat this year, don't wait. Get your firewood lined up now. Don't wait. You don't want to get to September and then you put out a notice and nobody's got any. So if you have to buy firewood like me, I mean, at some point I won't have to buy firewood, but I do this year, you know, because, you know, the 3 trees that were cut down that we saved here, first of all, they haven't been split, and I have asked a couple of people if they can find me a person to come and split wood. I can't do it. Justin's got too much to do here to take whole days splitting wood. So all of that needs to be split and stacked, covered with tin. And so get that done, and then we're going to launch into this big project in the back. And what I'm going to do in the back is move this deck. All that firewood's got to be moved. Got to move the grill. I'm going to move that deck and move it over beside the shop, and that's where we're going to have the stacks of firewood. We're going to do stacks of 4 feet tall, 8 to 10 feet long, and cover it with tin. It'll be kind of back beside the shop, kind of over the hill. It won't be that, you won't even hardly be able to see it from here. And that will be like the main, that will be like the storage facility. But then I'll also have a smaller, you know, maybe 1 week's supply, something like that, right beside the garage. We haven't figured out exactly that yet because it may be part of this whole design out here. But I am going to dig into this hillside, direct the water. There's going to be water that goes over to that future garden, and then water that goes over to this side garden. Going to be diverted because a lot of water comes off that hill. That has to be diverted either by berm or pipe or something. We got to figure that out. And then also I want to dig into that hill and you know, have a place to grill and just put a nice patio out there, and maybe even more. So that's all coming up, I hope. And first I gotta grow some food. Let's see, Gary Osena, did you say? It's Gary Osena, O''Sena, and actually they were sent to me. I never had the package. Somebody gave them to me literally in the first 2012, and those seeds are just been handed down each year, handed down to myself. Yes, I would love to get to 100,000 subscribers by December 31st. And that can happen, but if it does, it's got to really, really start moving. So if you guys enjoy my content, if you follow my journey here to build a sustainable homestead, I'm starting over. I'm an empty nester. I'm older, and perhaps you're in a similar boat. I'd love to inspire you to live to your full potential. Obviously, some people are not physically able to do this. I heard from someone today in Canada, Lola, who is not physically able to do it, but she loves watching my channel. So if you know somebody like that, I hope you'll share this journey with them. Let's see. I didn't, Terry, I was just going to give you a shout out today, and I thought, wait a minute, does she actually have a channel I mean, I know we're connected on Facebook, but Terry is online. Terry Allred from North Carolina. Finally got my farm number. Okay, great. I don't know what your farm number, what is a farm number? I'm not sure what that means. But I noticed that Terry is, just put a notice how they can find you on Facebook. If you are thinking about getting into or want to get into growing pigs, pork, meat, meat, pork. What do you want to? How do you call it? I don't know. She just got some amazing heritage pigs. She was very excited about it. I saw them on her Facebook. So if that's something you're thinking about doing, you might want to see this breed that she got. It was really interesting. So I wanted to give Terry a shout out. She loves to shout me out on her page, her Facebook page. Let's see. Judy wondered if found any farmers markets. No, I haven't, and I haven't had the time and energy, Judy, to tell you the truth. My leg is just, I'm like scratching it as I'm talking. I think it's starting to heal finally because it itches, and so, like I said, the field trip yesterday was the first one I've taken since I've been here in 8 months. I used to do this sort of thing all the time, but things have changed in our world, in our country. I don't know if you've noticed, but but they've changed radically. And so, I just don't, I don't know when that's going to happen. We do have a farmer's market in Lebanon, and there's one closer. I have not been. I've got to get the schedule. But I'm hoping to make some connections this coming Saturday because someone that knows me from my past, I grew up in Tennessee, contacted me. I've mentioned this before, and she said she has been in charge of the apple pie contest at the state fair, Tennessee State Fair, for many years. And she wanted to know if I would be a judge because she follows the fact that I've moved back to the state of Tennessee. And so that's this Saturday. And there are 35 so far registered apple pies. I don't know how, I guess you register before you make it. You just register because you know you're going to make a good one, I guess. I've never entered a pie, but my mother used to enter food items, cakes and things. Oh gosh, my mother did everything. But anyway, there are 35 pies, and we don't have to sample every one because there's 6 judges, and I have been paired with a Tennessee congressman who's been, let's see, he's been on the committee or he's done something with the state fair since 2010. So she wanted to pair a new person with someone, an experienced judge. So I've never judged a food contest before. One second. I'm talking so much. So that should be interesting. I love apple pie, and I suppose, there's just sort of maybe some like lemon water that you sort of slosh in your mouth in between, so it just erases the whole taste. Sort of like in France, after your meal, you rinse your palate with something or other, and then you have sorbet, or I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I was in France. At any rate, that's coming up this Saturday, and I'm hoping to make a few connections there, and then we'll just take it from there. A firewood stacker on Deep South Homestead. Was that on a recent video? Because I do look at I am subscribed to his channel, but I didn't see that, Jay Cree. Yeah, get your wood a year ahead of time. Well, yeah, so me telling you to get it now is actually very late, but do get it. let's see. Debbie is here. Hi, Debbie. Susan is here. Let's see. That's good to know, Eric, because I grew Amish paste tomatoes and they didn't do well. I had 3 of them and they were kind of hard, and I thought, well, they'll last on my counter for a few days till I get some more. And I never got any more, and they went bad. And I'm just going, okay, well, you should have just made a little bit of sauce out of those 3, but I didn't do that. You know, I'm just not as on the ball as I need to. I grew Kellogg's one time. Somebody gave me some plants. Somebody that came to visit the late bloomer garden gave me some Kellogg's plants, and I grew them, and I think I saved the seeds, but I don't know. Let's see. Oh. Oh, so Dee is saying from Texas, she picks the cracked ones, throws them into vinegar water to sterilize inside the cracks. That's a great idea. I didn't know what you were supposed to do. They ripen on a tray in the counter. Flavor isn't quite as good. It's good to know. I'm going to do that. I've got pink bumblebee too. So the Sherry, so it may be that the tags got mixed up, because I know some tags got mixed up. I don't know how. I was very careful this time, but it happened. Badrani jam. That's exactly what I've been doing. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize it had to do with low temperatures. Cat facing has to do with low temperatures. Well, I mean, I got started so late. It hasn't been a low temperature. So I don't know. I think we had one night that was like mid-40s, and everything else has been not cold at all. Oh my goodness, Jennifer, you must have a really green thumb. She said every seed of hers germinated. It's insane, insanely good. Remind everybody where you are. Thank you, Cherie. I really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I have had good luck with Amish paste in the past. And there was just, I don't know if it was because I started so late. You know, right after I got the tomatoes planted on the terraces, because first of all, we had to build the terraces, you know. And when I got here, we had to build, when Justin came, we had to build the raised beds. Then it was like everything should have been planted for cool season. Then it was just starting. Then I had all those tomatoes that were already this big, and then we started building the terraces. So by the time I got everything planted out, we got this major heat wave. It was really hot, and you know, we got everything shaded so they get some break from the intense sun during the day. And I already replaced 7 plants out of the original approximately 90 plants. I replaced 7 or so. And then I would say right now I could easily take out 7 to 10 plants that aren't doing anything. And I'm going to. And I'm going to put in beans or peas. Beans or peas, whatever I think can finish in time. So, because Daryl was saying that I could still get a crop of fall beans. So why not put a pole bean there? And, you know, I've got the string set up, so just put a pole bean there and see what happens, you know, rather than just leaving it empty. And there's just no point in leaving some anemic looking tomato there that's not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. It could be, Connie. I mean, it could. I mean, today I found a, it was shaped like a stink bug, but it had a lighter color on the back. I don't know if stink bugs can change color for the plant or the vegetable they're on. Does anybody know? But anyway, I squished it and threw it. But yeah, I'm sure I got bugs. I'm going to get, I'm going to try to, the thing about the Borghese is these were the ones that, let's see, where'd they go? I was thinking that a paste tomato would be bigger. They're like cherry tomato size. Is this normal? Does anybody familiar with this? Eric, do you know? Most of them have this yellow mark here, like one last little space on it didn't fully ripen. These did, so I took them off. They look perfect. So I'm going to make some sauce out of that. I don't know if I've got enough to. I don't have enough to can. I may just cut them up and freeze them. Yeah, that's kind of what mine looked like, Daryl. But when I first that year that 2014, when I did my, if you go back, I have a tomato playlist. 601. We're going to sign off pretty soon. Tomato playlist, and I grew one of them that was kind of like that, and I don't think I kept those seeds, but they were really good. But nothing compares with that Berkeley tie-dye. Oh my gosh. Whew. Next year I'm getting fresh seeds next year, and I'm starting over. I really am. I think that I've just passed my seeds down so long. They're just not that good. And now I know about the White Beauty because it makes a nice big beefsteak tomato, but it's very delicate. Okay. I'm just going to scroll all the way down. If anybody left me a comment that I haven't answered, please say so. Right. I know it's expensive. I think I paid at this farm stand yesterday. This is Amish. Now, it's not the Amish farm stand, so he has to drive. Just think about it. He's got to put gas in his vehicle and drive 4 hours round trip to put stuff in there. And he was apologizing to me for charging what he was charging. I said, you don't have to apologize. I understand. And he was gonna, he was gonna sell me a box of beans for $30. I don't know how much a box winds up being, but that's that's the price that he gave me. The okra, and I bought okra. I bought 3 pounds of okra. I've had fried okra for the last 2 days. So yum. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had really good fried okra, or you just may think you hate okra. Daryl, you think you hate okra. I bet you'd love my fried okra. I used a little bit of, I don't put any egg or milk or anything like that, because okra has enough kind of sliminess in it naturally. So I just toss in, you're supposed to use cornmeal. The southern way is to fry it with cornmeal. But if you go into like a southern restaurant, it'll just be like a whole, you can't even see the okra. It'll just be covered in this fried batter. No, that is not the way to do it. You roll it in cornmeal, and I didn't have any cornmeal. Gotta get some. Gotta get stocked up. I had some einkorn flour, which has a coarse grind. It's like whole wheat grind. Einkorn. I'm always talking about einkorn flour. If you haven't tried it or you don't know about original wheat, please please do a little research and look it up, because when they changed wheat in 1951, I believe this is the correct year, I interviewed a man at the National Heirloom Expo that explained it all to me. He was actually farming spelt, I'm pretty sure, spelt and millet, I think, but not wheat. But he was talking about original grains that had not been, had not had their chromosomes messed with. Original wheat had 14 chromosomes, and all the hybridized, I don't even know if hybridized is the right word. All the wheat, all the modern wheat, all of it, everything you see in a restaurant, everything you see in the store, all has 45 chromosomes. Because a guy went into the laboratory in 1951 and said, how are we going to feed X number of billion people with one crop of wheat per year? And he figured out how to make a wheat instead of, in our song Amber Waves of Grain, wheat used to be waist high, and that was one crop a year. He figured out how to make it ripen in 18 inches. That's about 18 inches. And then you could get 2 crops in a year. And I think he won some kind of Nobel Prize or something for doing that. And so wheat, as we know it, was forever changed. And if you've ever read Wheat Belly, which was a New York Times bestseller, best-selling book, and then this he was a cardiologist that I don't remember his name. I listened to that on audiobook, and when this was explained in there, I just went, wait a minute, people would come to him who had been to numerous other doctors with all these health problems, and he would say, would you be willing to give up wheat for a month? And he said everybody that did make that commitment got better, whatever their problem was. So he said eating a piece of stone ground whole wheat organic bread is the same as eating a Snickers bar in terms of your blood sugar. So you guys can check all that out. I'm just reiterating what I remember from the book, which I read years ago. And so I try to use einkorn flour in my cooking, because I don't want my blood sugar, going like through the roof just for eating a piece of toast or something, or a biscuit. So anyway, I roll my okra. I cut it, wash it, cut it fresh into pieces that are about just under a half an inch long. And I put it in a bowl, and I put in, depending on how much I'm doing, I put in a couple of tablespoons of the einkorn flour and a tablespoon of flaxseed meal. Flaxseed meal is very good for you. It's got all those omegas that are really good, and probably the combination of those two is better than the cornmeal. I don't know, but it gives you the grit. And then you fry it in just a little bit of oil of your choice. You could use coconut oil. You could use, whatever kind of oil healthy oil. If you don't want to be healthy necessarily, you could use bacon grease, which is what, of course, I grew up in Tennessee, so that was common to cook with lard or something like that. But anyway, my okra just absolutely melts in your mouth, and I don't cook it like I just remember it from the old days. You'd see the okra, the outside of the okra would be like dark olive color, like those pots or something, but I just cook it till it's barely tender, and so that it still has some resistance when the fork goes in, and it's still bright green, so I know it's still got some nutrition in there. Anyway, as you'll see in my next video, I waited too long to pick my own okra, which is why I bought some okra yesterday, and I think he sold that to me for $3 a pound. I believe that's what it was. Back to the prices at the farmer's market, Gretchen. I think it was $3 a pound for okra. Not sure what he charged me for peaches, but I got some more peaches because my peaches are all gone. And I sort of fell in love with the way I have this very, very, very brilliantly easy way to make cobbler. So if you guys are interested in that video, let me know. Okay, if there are there any other burning questions, I'm going to go. I've been talking for an hour. Oh, that's a shame, Tracy. I didn't realize that. Oh, I could make a very quick little video on Jay would like me to see me cook fried okra. What is okra? Bobby Lou, remind me where you are. Okra is a vegetable. You can find it in California in the farmers markets. Not very often would you find it in a store. It's not grown commercially on any kind of big scale. And it's only in the summer, obviously. I don't know, maybe Mexico doesn't even, we get a lot of our, if you're eating produce in the winter, you're probably getting it from Mexico. And which means it was cut God knows when and trucked to your state, whatever. And that all could change. I was just seeing a video last night and it was saying all of this change that's going to happen is going to bring things back to a more regional way of operating between farmers. Farmers are going to be closer to their source of, to their customers. And we're not going to be eating these vegetables that have been flown in from, well, Brazil's out of the question. Things are supply lines, and Brazil's buying corn from Argentina. So that's how bad things are in Brazil. So in China, things are really bad there. So which is why they're buying our farmland. But anyway, do a little research on what's going on, so you won't be in the dark when things really go south, if they do. I hope they don't. But you don't want to be left without food, water, shelter, and heat. Some way to get warm, some way to, this winter, you just don't want to be in that position. So I want to reiterate what I'm seeing literally hundreds other YouTubers talking about, is to be prepared. So I hope this is helpful. If this has been helpful, I hope you subscribe. I hope you come back. And I look forward to seeing you and hearing about your gardens and adventures. And if you have any specific ideas for me that you'd like to see on this channel besides frying okra. Anyway, okra is typically a southern vegetable, and it's also grown. They also use it in Louisiana in gumbo. It's very slimy inside. Got a lot of seeds and kind of slimy texture inside. That's why I like it fried, because you don't taste that sliminess at all when it's fried. In the gumbo, you do kind of, but I like that. I like gumbo so much. It's got so many wonderful flavors that I like okra. But anyway, I'd love to do that while okra is in. I mean, it won't be here for that much longer, I'm sure. Probably not even a month. It'll probably be all gone. I mean, he told me yesterday they're already completely sold out purple hull peas. That they only had one. They usually have 3 crops. And this is interesting. I found this interesting because, we traditionally think of the Amish as they take care of their own. They have a lot of children. They got all those children working in the fields to produce all of the food and non-food items that they sell in their stores and things. And he said, the man that goes and he's not Amish, but he goes and buys from them every day. He said that typically Mexicans will come and help them, and they weren't there this year. And so they didn't have the extra help. They only got 1 crop of purple hull peas in. And so, because Patricia had recommended that I get a bushel of purple hull peas in case I don't manage to get anything, By the way, the deer got to my trellis over here. You're going to see it in the next video. That whole garden has exploded. It's really amazing. But the deer did get to the beans on the back side of the bean trellis. Just every little stem is nibbled off. So, but we did see a couple of other beans over there. And big development, Justin got the stakes in for the fence. So the fence will take care of the deer over here. And, we've got 1 rabbit that we know of that lives up in here somewhere. I've only seen one rabbit. So then after that, I think the only thing to really worry about over here is I have a group of crows that live down here or hang out down here in where I deforested. Guess what? That's all grown up. It's all grown up. I'm gonna have it bush hog. I've got crows. Crows will eat little shoots of corn right out, but I haven't seen crows over here. But what one of my not just one, more than one person, and even a neighbor has told me, the raccoons they just take the corn right down to the ground. So no little nylon deer fence is going to keep out raccoons. They're way too smart, and they operate in the dead of night when you're half asleep, when you're solid asleep. So I haven't figured out what we're going to do about that at all. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah. Who doesn't love beans and bees? You know, I mean, deer not stupid. All the kitties are great. You're going to see them in the next video. Kristen, thanks for asking. I know. His Servant S. Where are you writing from? I don't remember your name, but you're right. The only, Denise is talking about an electric solar powered fence. The only ones that I've seen are only 4 feet tall. It's not going to do anything. You know, they're really more designed to keep your goats and sheep in rather than to keep pests out. Raccoons are not going to be phased by a solar powered electric fence. If they want to get in and get that, they will just dig under it. They'll do whatever they need to do. You know, they'll grow wings and fly over it. I mean, raccoons are just impossible. Yeah, that's just it. So you lost your whole crop of corn, Haffy? Is that what you're saying? Well, okay, so a very good point, suggesting a dog, and I've thought many times about a dog. Right now I've got 5 extra mouths to feed, so taking on another much bigger mouth to feed and cleaning up all that dog poop. I mean, you can't just tell a dog, okay, I just want you to poop like right over there, you know. So, and the thing is, you can't leave. You have to fence in your dog. So do you fence in your dog inside your garden? You can't do that. So, you know, I mean, raccoons are not going to be, if they're very smart, and they're going to know if that dog can get to them or not. They just, you know, if that dog comes after them, they just go up a tree and go, nah, I'm just going to wait till you go to sleep, and then I'm going to come down and go eat that corn. So a dog will keep certain animals away, but I don't see how it would help with the raccoon situation. I really don't. And believe me, I've thought about it. I've thought long and hard about getting a dog, but right now I just want to kind of see how this month could be like a roller coaster. So kind of want to just get through this month. By the way, I've got, speaking of the kitties, they're going in, the girls are going in, the 3 girls are going in on Tuesday to be fixed, to be neutered, to be spayed. Wait, which is which? Anyway, they're getting fixed on Tuesday. So getting that done, and then take it from there, one step at a time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you subscribe. I hope you come back. I hope you watch my recent videos. Get those views up. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great week. Stay safe. Do your research. Keep your eyes open and your head up. God bless. Take care.